So let me take you through different steps of the PYME design and explain to you in detail what each step means. So the first step is context. Context is the analysis of the situation in the YEPP local site at the beginning of the cycle of change. And when we talk about the context, we talk about assessing the geographic and historical background of the YEPP local site and considering its economic, political and social situation at the present time. The context assessment can be done through situation analysis, context description, and once you have conducted one of the two, you can have an update, which you can do every year or depending on your local situation if your context changes. So let me tell you a little bit more about the situation analysis. The situation analysis describes the local context and present situation and identifies the local needs and challenges, but also resources with regard to YEPP goals. The situation analysis is the starting point for the identification of key issues and objectives of the operational plan. And at the same time, it is a baseline for the evaluation of changes in your YEPP local site if you do an evaluation at a later time. We know that each YEPP local site has unique history and the dynamics is different and influence of internal and external factors is also different. We know that these dynamics affect, in turn, the local implementation of YEPP. This is why we think it is quite important to understand the circumstances in which your YEPP local site operates and use it as the basis for cross-national comparison, which we do at YEPP IRC. It is important to mention that whatever methods you use for the situation analysis, it is important that young people and other members of the local support group are engaged actively in data collection and analysis, because it's participatory at the end. So we want your local stakeholders and your young people to participate already in the first step of PYME and in the first step of the cycle of change. Then the next step is inputs. Inputs are all the resources and materials invested in your local YEPP site, but it's also the expertise and the skills you have which help you to run and operate this YEPP local site. And this information is important for us if we want to convince funders and policymakers that YEPP works well. And it is not only sufficient to demonstrate the changes and to talk about positive outcomes, positive change. We also need to show that the costs for achieving some results are reasonable and not out of proportion. So this is where we talk about some kind of cost-benefit analysis when we talk about assessing inputs. And what we need is a rough estimate of inputs, of overall costs of YEPP at the local level. The next step is process. Process means assessing the way the YEPP local site operates and the way communication is done and takes place among members of YEPP local support group and among the members of the YEPP local team. When we assess the process in the YEPP local site, we usually talk about assessing the local operational plan, the functioning of the local infrastructure, how well a local coordinator evaluation facilitator and the local support group are doing their job. And we also assess the implementation of the YEPP cycle of change. How well are we planning, monitoring and evaluating our actions, and other problems with implementation of certain activities or actions from the operational plan. So what's going on? We want to understand that when we talk about the process. And we also distinguish between process monitoring and process evaluation. Process monitoring is the regular recording of the YEPP-related developments in your YEPP local site. And the tool for this is the YEPP logbook, the document where you note all the significant developments, problems, challenges, and also positive things which occur during the process of implementation of your local activities. When we talk about process evaluation, we assess the work of YEPP local stakeholders, of YEPP evaluation facilitator, YEPP local coordinator, and the work of local support group, of course. And we assess the steps of the cycle of change. And this is the step before the actual evaluation. So the process evaluation is done once a year and preferably is part of the outcome evaluation workshop. And the useful participatory tool for this is the evaluation target. The next step is outputs. Outputs are short-term results of a project activity or the work of a local support group. In general, outputs relate to the achievement of objectives that are defined in the local operational plan. And assessing outputs means to check regularly to what extent the local support group and specific local projects and activities are meeting their objectives. We know that different YEPP local sites have different local objectives because their local context and the situation is different. However, what unites all the YEPP sites in the YEPP community network that all the local objectives relate to YEPP overall goals, which are youth empowerment, community empowerment, partnership, advocacy, and learning. So when assessing the outputs of a particular project or activity, these goals, the overall goals of YEPP, need to be kept in mind because they are important for the outcome evaluation once a year. And the next step is outcomes. Outcomes are the medium-term changes or effects that result from YEPP-related projects and actions. Outcomes relate to the achievement of YEPP overall goals. Once a year, it is time to reflect on the results of your projects and actions, to have a look at the achievements of the operational plans, and to think how your activities have contributed to positive change in your local community. So this reflection process is called outcome evaluation. The outcome evaluation takes place at the end of the cycle of change, at the end of the annual cycle of change, and it should be done in the form of outcome evaluation workshop. In this workshop, the local support group members, together with evaluation facilitator and local coordinator, take a look at the outputs, which are the results of the activities from your operational plans, and assess how the outputs have caused changes in the wider context in which your local site operates. So it is helpful if the monitoring teams for the projects and other interested youth and community residents participate in the outcome evaluation workshop, And the result of it is the report, which can be communicated to the politicians, to wider public, to other residents in the community, and to the funders of YEPP. And finally, impact. Impact is the process of assessing long-term change, assessing the changes that YEPP has made to the local communities, to young people with fewer opportunities, and to wider context in which YEPP local sites operate. Impact relates to long-term changes and is based on the assessment of YEPP overall goals throughout a certain period. Normally it's 3 to 5 years. And what can tell us if the changes have occurred? We think that you can assess what changes have occurred if you use regularly the same tools for each steps, and that you have the repeated measurements and analysis of the data. It makes it easier for you to see the differences in numbers and differences in qualitative outcomes. For example, you can use the YEPP empowerment matrix to analyze the change for youth empowerment goal. This matrix is just one tool which helps you to look at the various dimensions of empowerment and pick up those which are relevant for your YEPP local site and observe changes regularly on a constant basis. And drawing on this, you start the strategic planning process again and again and go to the next cycle of change using the same tools and drawing on the experiences gathered through the participatory process of monitoring evaluation. And we hope that this introduction was helpful for your work on monitoring and evaluation. Good luck with that. So, YEPP model of monitoring and evaluation, called PYME, has certain benefits to be used. It engages young people and community residents in the first step of making change in their local site. It gives them the tools and knowledge how to do the analysis, how to work in the groups, and how to communicate the results in a neutral and objective way, at the same time staying critical and reflective for the own results and processes. There are many benefits to use this model, and we at YEPP IRC provide the training on how to conduct PYME at the local level, and we are happy to help you if you're interested. Please contact us. We provide trainings we can provide trainings for the YEPP local sites to help you improve the monitoring and evaluation processes at the local level and to engage young people and other local stakeholders. And at the same time, this model can also bring benefits to wider communities outside the YEPP network and help to engage more people, more community residents in the participatory processes of planning and reflection. We are happy to help you if you have questions and seek further information. Thank you.